Whether it's the top lane, whether it's the mid lane, definitely so. But, you know, the bottom side being such a key win condition for both teams means that, realistically, we're just looking at the junglers and seeing where they want to prioritize action.
So, topside pathing here, starting off for TN. I'm not sure if he got help with the leash. It doesn't look like it. Just Wayward standing next to him. But bottom side is going to help Tarzan on this Lee Sin, who is pathing towards the top. And remember, we've seen quite a lot of Gnar into the Sejuani up there. Tomato, we've seen it work out pretty aggressively well. As, hang on a minute. LNG are going to buy their time. But Jackulov, no, not willing to miss the first wave. They move out of brush and a worthy first attempt.
I can respect it. I mean, you would normally expect something like that from the likes of a
Lucian Nami.
just waiting in the bush. But Jackulov and Mark trying to stamp their authority on the lane early on with potential brush cheese trade. Doesn't quite work out though. Light and Iwandi very cautiously approach lane, so we're not going to get anything crazy off the level 1. But it's not really the level 1 where this Nami Lucian kind of comes online. It's, you know, if Light didn't have the W, then it's level 2, but you're expecting level 3, where the heavy sort of burst trades will start to come in. But what I want to see now is Jackulov and Mark try and take advantage of the fact that there's no Q. The damage and the burst trade still very much there. As you can see, Mark goes down to half HP, but it's not quite as oppressive as when all 3 of those spells are available from Lucian.
Yeah, but still a very nice trade on for Mark as he
Hi,
quite nicely here, Light. So that trade means something on the top esports bottom lane, but a level 3 fast approaching with the wave building up by TES as well. So Mark and Jackulov still holding their approaches. Knight starts warding out for the bottom side. All the setup around bot, and Knight contributing to the fact, trying to track where Tarzan is on this Lee Sin as he starts pathing down there now.
Yeah, starts pathing down there now. Went and dropped a ward in the top side pixel brush just to give a little bit of coverage to Ale and Doinby. We'll start up on the tractor camp and we'll get spotted on that ward. So information is available to top esports. Jackulov and Mark can just shove up on this crashed in wave, get a little bit aggressive, maybe find some trades, maybe even find a whole plate on this.
Yeah, I mean, wow,
they will.
Doing it early, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely very early. So Jackulov, Mark, doing pretty good. Of course, like we said, Light, Iwandi need that level 3 to come in before they can really get things going. And like we said, set up in every lane. Tien is looking for the mid lane, but Tarzan's not too far away.
Doomby's just used to pick a card. Just the punch going to come through, and yes, Tarzan will join in, but Tien, as soon as he's here, it's a trundle. And against the Lee Sin, negating the AD with Chop is amazing. Sonic Wave connecting, but Arlo's going to help provide some support. Knight helping him send backwards as the pillar does the same. And the skirmish ends there. No kill coming through. Wasn't even a summon of
Yeah,
and again, Tarzan just hanging around the area. Just picked up the topside Scar Crab. Enables this play to just be neutralized out. Definitely one they can be happy with. If that Twisted Fate starts to fall behind, you know, slower level 6, it just means, you know, less proactivity from the side of LNG, and that's definitely what we want to see when you've got the Nami Lucian, when you have that Twisted Fate into the likes of this Kog'Maw. You need to start to look to try and shut it down, but right now, I mean, Jackulov actually up in the CS department, and the wave looked relatively neutral as well. Doing a really good job so far.
Kind of talking about, you know, the strengths of top esports, right? We just said the same thing about V5. You look at every player and how good they are, and yes, top esports can be just as explosive, but sometimes fall flat on their head. But we've recently been talking about people like Wayward, Knight, Tien, who's now come back consistently into the roster, where they were balancing with Xiaopeng a little bit in spring. But Jackulov and Mark are still Jackulov and Mark. Yes, they could also do what you were talking about at the start of this broadcast, Jamada, which was sometimes run it down, to paraphrase you. Not really, just maybe paraphrase myself. But hey, it's still Jackulov and Mark, and you know, they're a strong 2v2. Having said that though, Light and Iwandi, you could say the same thing, especially Light in recent years. So kind of interested to see this one playing out with the CS lead that's already been built up. Jackulov's made it back as well with the Berserker Greaves, so that 10 CS being used well. And for junglers right now, heading towards the bottom side, Tien a little bit faster with Dragon up is going to make it even more curious for the play.
Yeah, we'll see. Jackulov and Mark just reset, so we'll have the wave crash into them on the bottom side. Light and Iwandi could have a little bit of time to move away, maybe poke, get a reset of their own. But Light already has the Noon Quiver, so just coming out of base himself, probably doesn't have too much gold to spend. Here on the top side, though, had a brief look at it earlier. It's just going to be one of these kind of matchups where, realistically, there shouldn't be too much action, though.
You're not...
But, one, LPL, thank you very much. And two, Wayward, you'd be surprised how much burst damage you can get out of 2 permafrost Frost and an Ignite, but looking for a gank. Not really going to find much, and expecting... Oh, the expectation was probably a dragon play, but the gank is the option that comes through, and now Tarzan will pick up the Skull Crab, and option of that dragon probably a little less viable now for top esports.
It gets harder now, though, doesn't it? Because we have ult available on both our mid laners as Arlo burning his own against Wayward. It's going to have to be the TP as top esports start this drag up in full vision. Tarzan trying to rush to 6 as quickly as possible. With the Sonic Wave coming through, Raptor goes down. He's still not there, but he won't be at the Dragon either. First one goes to top esports. And as I was saying before, Knight and Duumbi both with their ultimates, and Knight makes first move.
Yeah, so it is Tian off the back of the gank, obviously, technically still gets priority, so using that one to just rotate over. And
GP がやっぱ消されるっつうのが
maybe less viable on the dragon play, just because Duumbi had priority, Tarzan was also in the area, but they just kind of don't care. Just off the bottom side priority, it was enough. Now looking towards the bottom side, but Tian
やっぱエンチャンターサポート
And the pill is going to
出てきた時に
gold card on the jungler. And Duumbi uses the ult.
どこにエンゲージ求めるかちょっとあるね。ミッドかトップかみたいな。
And I mean, this is just a win for top esports, right? You get the Destiny Gate out. First use, you always hear this kind of general rule of thumb for a lot of the global ultimates, like Nocturnal,
Hello.
Stand United from Shen. You really want to get some value out of that first.
この構成だと TFE がエンゲージできるから。
be kind of telling of how the rest of the uses of that ultimate may end up going.
できるできる。ルシアンがオールインした後にルルのスローが入るとコグマがダメ取れ勝ちますね。その後のチェイスがあるんで。なんでルシアンが安易にこうオールインできないです。6レベからちょっと変わるっすね。オールインした後に全部出し切ってコグがオートアタックで返したところをルシアンのアルティメットで10割持っていけるっていう。なんでしっかりルルが E と W と Q をちゃんと打つことだね。ルシアンのオールインに対して。そうするとコグが勝てる、ね。ただ難しいのがルルがスキルを即座に打てる場所を常にコグと取ってなきゃいけないからブッシュを取りづらいっつうのがねあんだよ。それがこの構成の難しいところ。で、ナミとルルでこうブッシュの取り合いした場合、コグルルがショートトレードで負ける可能性があるんですよ。コグにスキルがルルが打てない場合は。そこがめっちゃ難しいです。
Super accelerated. This next base is probably going to be pretty chunky. Yep. I mean, the thing is, light I1D, once the mandate and that mythic comes in, a lot more wiggle room, right? A lot more room to try and find these really impressive trades. Arley just going to get both rushes up. Yeah, a lot of more room to actually try and be a little more proactive, right? It seems like the laning phase just hasn't quite worked out in that sort of, you think Nami Lucian, you think, okay, 2v2 kill lane. Jackie Love and Markham just said, yeah, maybe not. We're just not going to play like that.
ミッドにガンクしに行ったから。しょうがない。
To find them either. So now top esports kind of just cruising towards this sort of 15-minute mark, towards that first item spike, without really feeling too much of the pressure from this Nami Lucian at all.
ガリオのだいぶプレッシャーがボットにずっとかかってるから、なんとかしないとっつってガリを一回こかせようとしたんだよな。ミッド周辺の視界がやっぱガリオの方が取りやすいよね。
Point standing that Arla is continuing to walk up to Wayward, doing very well in the Nar matchup that we have seen Sejuani's surprisingly win out. So it's nice to see something a bit more normal.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, again, man, Sejuani, some of that burst damage, if you're not expecting it. I mean, what was it that we saw? I think it was either yesterday or the day before. Sejuani got a solo kill on a Mordekaiser of all places, right?
Yeah. I'm not even sure if that was Wayward. I feel like I'm not sure if that was Wayward in the matchup, but
ガリをバフするんだ。今でさえ OP だけど。
And especially, I mean, it's definitely kind of meta, right? You see it enough now to know some of those damage thresholds, but especially when it first came into meta, you're like, what, Sejuani top? I mean, it's just going to do nothing, right? It's going to sit there, farm up, and then just be an engage bot in the mid game. Nah, it can kind of stat check you if you're not careful. But top, moving away from that matchup over there, looking towards this dragon. They picked up the first one, the second one would really, really put...
ミッドボットになんか手こ入れしないと LNG 負けそうだけど。
Anyway, losing out on that first dragon, a pretty fair loss. To be honest with you, a pretty big loss. They lose out on the second one. Top Esports, again, as the game progresses, looking towards Jackie Love to have those core items ready and available for the team fighting moments around these dragons. It's just going to get worse. They're going to look for the 50-50.
Destiny. All right, we get Jackie Love, and after he comes in, Knight Hero's entrance. They in front of the dragon, they get poked out, and a cleanse is burnt from Jackie Love, but once again, Top Esports are doing fine in this early game with a Kog'Maw Lulu. It's just amazing to see.
It is. No, it's just Top doing a really good job of negating.
Oh no.
Oh dear lord, it hurts.
I'm not sure if it was timing out. I wasn't actually tracking. Whether or not that was tracking out.
そんなに
Strange one to me for that Herald to get dropped, but Top just murder it where it stands. Shelly won't get any gold. And yeah, I mean, it's the place we wanted it to see. It just doesn't work out. Wayward kind of getting a little bit bullied out here, but likely just look to reset anyway on this wave. Not too big of a deal. And again, 2 dragons to the good of Top Esports. Jackie Love by the
涙積んでるから土下座だね。これ涙売るんだよね。
in his back pocket, or rather actually Blader and King. I'll take that back.
Yeah, but first item, right, against Gale Force, it's going to be huge. Like a 1-item Kog'Maw matching almost pound for pound against Light. 30 CS now the difference. And across the board, we can only see small differences in the jungle by 10 by Tarzan. Ala in the top side, about 20 there as Wayward picks up this wave. Gold is still even, and Jamada, let's come back to the comps we talked about. It's a slow early game, right? People probably not happy because this ain't...
いや、このガリをバフすんのか。マジか。マジか。こんな強いのに。プレデターナーフされても全然使うのに。
Not in the sense of when you're, looking at the expected, like, sort of scaling trajectory, I guess, if you want to put it like that, where, Lucian, in theory, just isn't going to be able to output as much damage as this Kog'Maw will, plain and simple. There are a lot of, spacing tools or space creating.
マジで Q のダメージバフ入ったらミニオン吸収装置持って公営ミニオンが Q 一発で処理できるようになったらもうガリオ OP 領域に入るけど。基礎ダメがもし上がったらやばいっすよ。20とか上がったらだけでもミニオン処理できるようになっちゃう。
On the side of LNG once you get to a certain point, because there's just not really a tank shredder like how Jackie Love would. If you swap the bottom lanes around, I'd say, I mean, hell, LNG really comfortable in the spot they're in because Jackie Love or the Kog'Maw would just murder this beefy front line of Top Esports, but it isn't that way around. And to that end, Topper just really chilling, to be honest with you.
I
mean, especially since Doomby can't get it much else done, right? He's used Destiny twice now, hasn't worked out, and they're ganking the lane that wants to move. As the lockdown from Wayward is from the Glacial Prison, we turn our heads to the bottom lane. Destiny finally being used onto Jackie Love. He's flashed away from his support, but Knight's coming in red hot. Can he be healed up? Jackie Love with one more, but the Wild Growth can't save him. A 1-for-1 trade here as the flash from Doomby to get the gold card on the entry. Mark burns his own, but in returns Tien on top of Doomby, the pillar. Oh, just gorgeous to see that Tien continues whopping down. Everfrost from Knight. Another one over to Top Esports, and they get the Kog'Maw, but look at what it cost.
Cost them so much, they're going to lose the tower on the back end of this. I mean, sure, they get the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw's not getting any of this gold, but Top Esports as a whole are still gaining on this play. And again, it all comes down to, okay, you get the Kog'Maw, great. You have to either get out or just not, commit to a fight where the rest of Top are gonna find their mark.
Okay. Yeah, this is happening. Now we got range. Wayward solo killed, yep. Yeah. After Ala burned the flash going too deep under turret, and he flashes the emote for good form.
Yeah, there you go. Flashes the emote.
まあ AP レシオだけだったらまあ。 ベースが上がるとやばい。まあ AP リッシュ上がってもやばいっすけど。
under his belt now. Triforce already completed. I wouldn't be surprised to see, a super like split pushy S build come in. Has
多分そうだと思う。
going towards the force of nature is the expectation. The replay of this solo kill. And like you said, just got a little bit over eager at first. The blows
階級アップデートのせいでもうガリオがね、対チャンピオンに対してダメージ出ねえから。4コアぐらいまでいけばダメージ出るんだけど。そんなに AP 上がるヘールのいいアイテムを積まないっていう。前に出るから、どうしてもヘルストアかアーマーが上がりながら、AP 上げていくアイテムになって。リメイク時のガリオなんてね、もうデスキャップ積んで Q 振ってりゃ敵が取れたんです。
LNG put their name in the front of lines as Arla goes into Mega, but they've got a numbers disadvantage. Tarzan at least hits the Dragon, but guess where the kill went? Jaculov takes two. And I'll say for top esports, they don't care. They're now 2,000 gold up.
It's like a scale, right? It's like LNG.
Yes,
hey guys, we got the Dragon, but Jaculov just picked up 2 kills for the play. Not sure how happy they're going to feel about that one. It takes away from the soul pressure, right? But I mean, my goodness me.
いやー、っていうか集団戦のファイトになったら TS の方が強いですよね。構成見ても。キャッチしなきゃいけないんですよね。TF 使って。ああやって集まる前に TF がアルティメットで1人キャッチして、で、相手のガリオにアルティメット使わして、みたいな。たら集団戦戦いやすいんだけど。
I mean, I feel like that fight at the Dragon, maybe obviously it's a bit of a sort of an exemplary.
D シンがせっかく単体火力の高いジャングラーを取ってるじゃん、D シン。キャッチにかなり強いんですよ。キャッチをした場合、1人を倒す能力っていうのは LNG の方が構成が強くて、普通の集団戦やると TS の方が強い。もうコブマウに届かなきゃ全部溶かす、コブマウが。
It's rough. Of course, it is only the start of this game, but from what we have seen recently with the cohesion we talked about with LNG, once again, we're seeing the same thing. Jamada, we talked about this at the start of broadcast, start of our segment here, sorry. That for LNG, top tier names, top tier players, but they just don't have the pieces together like our other top 4 teams.
タードクイーンクラウンなんだ。
A bit of a strange runway. I feel like you see this quite commonly.
ゾーニャはまあわかるけど、まあエンゲージを TF が担当するからってことなのかな。もうだけどシャッタードクイーンクラウンなんだ。今度シャッタードクイーンクラウンが切れてからゾーニャ使いたいと。
Not gonna say that's the destiny for LNG, but right now they have the pieces, but they're just not fitting together well.
ただこれだと CC 足りる？すげえナミの依存度が高いけど。足りなそう。足りるけど難しい。チェイスできると強いんだけどな、LNG は。トランドルがいいピックだね。LNG はマジで序盤のゲームメイクミスったな。ボットにプレッシャーかけなきゃいけないのに、だからリーが独特の回り方して、ボットのスタトル結局取れなくてみたいな。あれのロスが激しすぎる。トランドルを多分予測でフルクリアって設定したんだろうけど、レッド、クルーグ、ラプターみたいなルートを設定してたんだろうけど。もしくは、レッド、 グロンプ、ブルー、ウルフ、ラプターみたいなルートでトップサイドのスカトル取るでしょうみたいな感じだったのかな。そういう予測もあったのかもしれない。
Also, I know the mathematicians are also going to be kind of pulling their hair out a bit. Lights going towards the collector into a 3 frontline team comp.
Here we go.
全員消えた。全員消えた TS が。
I'm not going to get onto it. Here on the broadcast.
アレさん、残りすぎ。危険よ、危険。おー。
I mean, yeah, it's
誰も見えない。あ、ガリオが見えた。ビジュアに見えた、トランドル見えた、コグ見えた、ルル見えた。あー、ようやくわかった。あ、全員消えた。TS がまた全員消えた。消した。全員消えた。ファイト考えてる。ファイトだ、そうだよね。タワーが近すぎた。
Thing is though, Top Esports, they lose their jungler right before the dragon spawns up. LNG have Meganon, they have numbers. They should be able to force this one. I mean, Top Esports, if they really want to try and play, you know, nuisance, they definitely can, but they have to wait out this Meganon at the very least. They have to, but
でもガリオの R があるし、セジュアにないか。これでナウの R なくなったら。ガリオの R がある限り戦える。相手のミスつきたい。ターザンが、ドラゴンが TS の味方してる。素晴らしいナイト。LNG ミスったね。TF の R がなくなったらもうエンゲージができねえ。トップウォッチか。で、ナミの CC が入ったんだ。まあでもあくまでストップウォッチだからな。and then move towards the dragon. So Top Esports just utilizing the situation well. They're like, okay, LNG can't really get on top of us. We're the ones that can go forward, and now they're going forward again. 普通に死んだ。
Teleport, but he's interrupted. No escape for you. Norby faces down the barrel of his old jungler, and Jackulov bears the results. 3-1.
バロンでしょ、こんな。
And this game is
Baron
still
Saul
going Top Esports' way, no matter how competitive LNG are looking in this mid game.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, for what is less than a 1,000 goal lead, it really doesn't feel like it from the side of top right now. So much pressure. With Doinby dead, they're just going to start up the Baron. It's a 2-IM Cogmore, 25 minutes in. It will get shredded. I think they're just going to look for the turn, though. I think if they can bait LNG into a fight, they should just win out regardless. But if LNG don't make a decision, they're just going to lose the Baron.
Come through. Tidal wave as well. That's a decent knockup. Tarzan slowed down as Wayward has two people under his wing. Double flash from the bottom lane of LNG as Knight's ulti is also defensive. Top Esports forced off of the Baron and Arla about it.
ルシアンのフラッシュとトレードでバロン止めたけど、次のファイトルシアンが狙われて終わるそう。これはアレさんうまい。
That's about it. I mean, LNG, at the very least, they can call that a win because the Baron doesn't die, but losing Doinby and Top Esports just damage checking the Baron. See how fast they can get through it. Not, you know, the speediest, not the slowest either. But that's just kind of how things are going to go when you've only got that one DPS source through the Cogmore. I mean, LNG, I don't know, it just feels, despite, you know, the game being even, this is maybe one of the
早くミカエル
seen from LNG, especially
できるといいね。
their schedule so far, the split.
アイワンディが、ナミがミカエル行ってんですけど、ミカエルができるとかなり楽になるの。
Side lanes, right? That was kind of what we were expecting to see out of Ale when he was starting to get that lead. That maybe that would be what would be the abused avenue right now.
I mean, Tarzan's on his way, and Arla's just auto-attacking. He has his ultimate available. Destiny going to be burned as well. You know, Jamada, that was a classic piece of timing, but Top Esports may be proving you right with the response being so much better. Arla going to get taunted down to oblivion, and just like that, TES press all their teleports.
LNG うまくいかないな。
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's just about the globals, not tracking the teleport, where that could come in. LNG, they will pick up the mid lane tower as Top Esports respond to their own play, so at least find a little bit of gold somewhere. But again, losing out on Ale on the side lane in that kind of fashion, it's just got to feel bad. Realistically, and now 90 seconds or so, a little bit more than that away from Dragon. Top Esports expect to start.
TF さん出過ぎです。狙われます。
Some vision with some pressure. They should just slowly force
カバーに入った。ターザンが狙われる。ですよね。
As he's locked down, he'll get out. But Wayward is obviously hungry and making sure that the mid lane turret, goes down along with his play.
Yeah, all right. Well, Tarzan at the very least gets out of that one. Same thing.
いや、やっぱシャッターのクイーンクラウンのせいで捕まえる性能が落ちてるのよくないよ。
Get busted out. Yeah, I'm trying to make light of it. It's a bit of a rough situation. Again, at 1.5k down, you'd think, you look at this game at face value, you'd say, all right, LNG, they still have a pretty fair chance. And to be fair, they definitely do their job of it by any means. All it does take is one solid pick on to the Cogmore to maybe find a positive fight. But right now, Jackie Love, outside of that one play down here towards the bottom side, it's just not been the case. And yeah, he's like, oh, Light, you have a collector? Sure, I'll pick Brandwins, and then you just can't damage me anyway. So yeah, with a Lulu on this back as well, it's just going to be even more oppressive. And the stopwatch. Like, how do you kill this Cogmore at this point, man? You can't.
Well, you got to get through the front line of Top Esports, which is starting off to play Glacial Prison on such low cooldown. As I finally get my words out, Doomby with the Destiny is anti-aggressive. He's all the way back with his team as Arla flashes away, but he'll be slowed down. Wayward's still chasing up. The Arctic Assault helping on that front, and this is in front of Dragon. So Arla, who still has the just burns a flash, doesn't have a Mega Narbar. Top Esports with a numbers advantage in front of this fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. LNG, very limited engage options too, so being in front of the Dragon Top Esports should have an advantage already.
Knight, all that Everfrost, the angle perfect, and Jackie Love hits
the still
LNG can play this fight as gold card reaches its limits on top of Wayward, but over the wall, Knight, shielded Duran. What do you expect from one of the best mid laners in the world as Tarzan proving his jungle worth on Jackie Love, but the stopwatch comes in clutch and Knight saves his life. Shielded Duran part 2, the reckoning here. トップウォッチがなければ、ガリオの R がなければ、ターザンスーパーキックだったんだけど。いや、ダメだ、コグマウが。ダメージが足んない。 Full of mojo.
They just don't have the firepower, LNG, to get through the frontliners. And I mean, hell, you get through the frontliners, you've still got Cogmore to deal with. He's almost a frontliner in his own right. Knight's going to come with the teleport just to guard this. Won't find out Tarzan. That's Ocean Soul for Top Esports. And you imagine they're just going to start to only tunnel vision towards that Baron. Because if they can get that, you'd almost imagine certainly they'll crack open the base and look to try and close out this game.
I mean, 2K Goldie going to explode rapidly. The Ocean Soul in the back pocket. And, the damage onto Jackie Love also helped out by the Randwin's Omen we pulled out before the fight. Jamada, it looks really nice here that Jackie Love takes so much to die, but Wild Growth back up and available. That's going to help him still. No stopwatch this time. If we do see a players on the back of the pit, has to be a steal, but Doomby's being caught out. He Destiny's into almost sudden death as Culling comes through again, but Jackie Love keeps hitting the barrel while Tarzan wants the 50-50 to Lee Sin, who gets in early. 1.6, kicks out. Lee Sin on Tarzan, or the other way around. You know it's always good news.
It's an absolute lifeline for LNG because picking up that Baron, they're going to be able to delay what should be the inevitable top. They want to keep on going, they're not going to be able to find it. But man, losing out on that Baron is going to feel rough for top for a little while because now LNG, it just gives them that.
いや、今のはドゥインビーうまかった。が、ガリオが妨害しようとしてるのを全部止めてたからね。
Knight here, excellent flash over the wall to find the shielded run
ルシアンがマジでトランドルのせいでダメージ出しづらいんだよな。これ毎回ルシアントランドルのキラーで狙われてるから。カウンターを準備するっていうのが大事で、要は取らせてカウンター準備して勝ってればもう楽じゃないですか。その代わり結果残さなきゃいけないですけどね、開けた上で。まあ、駆け引きです。ブルーサイドがもうルシアンバンしてくれたら楽だねみたいな。いやバン枠足んないんだよね。バン枠足んねえからカウンターピック準備するっていう流れになってる。カリスタルシアンかコグマウルルかスイッチユン。それが嫌ならブルーサイドでバンしろっつってルシアンを。で、そのままルシアン取らない流れでドラフト行ったらレッドサイドからするとラッキーっていうだけ。Very early on might be the only death that he ends up having throughout this game. LNG, they're gonna have to pull a rabbit out of the hat if they are to find Jackie Love right now of all of the defensive peel tools that he has for himself. Top, just gonna pick up this tower free. We'll see where else they decide to place you as well.
I mean, they're the team with Baron, and LNG is so defensive right now. Top Esports are the ones making the aggressive plays, and you can see why. Like on top of Jackie Love. オーメンコグマウだからもう溶かせねえ。やっぱトランドル評価上がってきたな、本当に。Caught out left, right, and center.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, what we want to see, one team be played through, but right now, Top Esports have just shut that avenue down.
集団戦が長いメタでトランドルが弱いわけがないんだよな。
Could maybe give them an angle engage, but seems like Top don't really want to force the issue so close towards that Elder Dragon. If you lose a fight randomly here,
はい、こんにちは。
the tempo of the game feels different. LNG maybe have, the first move towards the river off the back of a one fight for them. So they're just going to deny the opportunity. Go back to base. Spend whatever gold they have. Jackie Love just picked up a Runans. It's just getting
here we go.
More and more ridiculous now because he's just going to hit everybody with the full attacks. And LNG again, like I said, grab out of the hat. It's a miracle kind of team fight that they're going to need because so far Jackie Love has been positioning really well.
Once or
twice. The rest of top are there to save his skin.
So many tools. Level 14 here.
Just
for the extra HP you get per level now as well. People might be upset seeing our durability patch, but when you also have a Randuin's in your inventory and a Lulu with Mikhail's Bell and the shielding that she has plus wild growth, then you kind of expect that this might have been the case even before World 10. So, for Top Esports, continuing to hang around in this bottom side jungle. Now Knight is on his way, staying in range for the hero's entrance in case something happens. And that's why Jackie Love heads forward, face first, doesn't need Wayward. And they've now caught out Tarzan as well as the culling comes through from Light, hits out Mark, which is good, but Tien with the pillar is beautiful. Flashing away is the bottom lane, but down with the Glacial Prison, Wayward does it again. Tien running forward, the Ocean Soul helping out as Top Esports keep healing up. The poke from LNG meaning less and less as Wayward.
ね、エヴァプロ行かないとキャッチできないけどね。もうこの段階で結構もう GG だけど。
Tarzan wants an angle, but I'm not sure if Top Esports are going to let him.
No, I don't think they'll give it over. They already know where he is, give or take. They know he's not showing in the base. He has to be roughly behind them. I think Tarzan might show if he goes around the corner on the
コグマを蹴れるか。
But
すべては子熊を蹴るために。今日外したターザン。蹴った。ただ、オーメン、フラッシュも残ってる。ガリオの R もある。ですよね。誰かあの子熊を止めてーっつって。ターザンがもう2回蹴ったのに倒せない。
They should be ending the game here, Top Esports. We said it from LNG. They really had to try and snowball this game. Shut down Jackie Love on the Kog'Maw early on.
まあタンクが評価されてるというよりも、トップレーンでエンゲージ担当してねが、そのせいだと思う。
And no one can kill the frontliners of Top Esports. They're going to take game number 1.
Jackie Love looking for a final kill. They're going to let the Nexus stay standing, or Jackie Love gets kill number 6. This Kog'Maw Lulu, what a great time when your lane starts as brilliantly as that.
いや、バブル合わせても多分倒せないです。